Before humans set foot in the frozen lands of the north, before science understood the harsh journeys of migration, there already existed a world where life was always moving in order to survive. Stretching across the taiga forests, glaciers, and the wild lands of Yukon are herds of migrating animals that never stop moving, facing the cold, predators, and endless challenges. A relentless journey, harsh and brutal. Wild Yukon. Welcome to Wild Yukon, Migration and the Endless Fight for Survival. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to create more quality content. Don't forget to leave your comments below so we can discuss together. Let's begin. Caribou footprints are scattered throughout the Yukon Territory. This region is located in the extreme northwest of Canada and covers more than 482,000 square kilometers, making it approximately 1.3 times larger than the state of California in the United States. With an extremely low population density of less than 0.1 people per square kilometer, Yukon is one of the last truly pristine wilderness areas remaining on the North American continent. The name Yukon comes from the Gwich'in word meaning whitewater river, referring to the Yukon River. Millions of years ago, magma from deep within the earth erupted to the surface in the Heart River region, forming layers of volcanic and intrusive rock that established the basic foundations of this territory. Over millions of years, tectonic plates collided and elevated the land, transforming ancient seabeds into towering mountains. From that great event, the St. Elias, Ogilvie and Mackenzie mountain ranges were born. The most iconic symbol is Mount Logan, standing at 5,959 meters tall, a testament to the tectonic forces that shaped the entire landscape of the continent's northwest. Glaciers such as Kaska-Walsh and Logan formed during the Pleistocene glaciation. They eroded the rock and carved deep U-shaped valleys, creating the basis for the complex network of waterways that flow into the Yukon River. It prides itself on possessing areas recognized by UNESCO. Kluane National Park and Reserve, home to Mount Logan, Canada's highest peak, and giant glaciers, was included on the list in 1979. Three other areas, Ivavik, Vuntut and Herschel Island, have also been included on the tentative list due to their biological importance and unique Arctic ecosystem. Depending on the area, temperatures can vary drastically. Yukon is home to a pristine and diverse ecosystem where life develops in harmony between northern forests, taiga and alpine tundra. According to the official Yukon government portal, about 42,000 caribou were estimated to migrate seasonally through Yukon in 2024, belonging to two main subspecies, the barren ground caribou and the woodland caribou. Additionally, Yukon is home to between 70 and 80 species of mammals and 348 species of birds. Each species and each habitat, from dense forests to glaciers, plays an irreplaceable role in this vast and closely connected ecosystem. Autumn in Yukon lasts from August to October, when the cold air and golden foliage announce nature's elegant transition. In the Ogilvy Mountains and the Porcupine River Valley, where silent taiga forests embrace the vast tundra plains, the landscape takes on a dreamlike beauty woven with the fading light of the season. It is here that the caribou herds begin their migration, preparing to cross the wilderness in search of refuge before the imminent freezing winter. Each year, the migratory journey reaches 2,400 kilometers. They travel from breeding areas in the extreme north of Yukon, crossing the rugged terrain of the Ogilvy Mountains and heading down toward the Porcupine Valley. The porcupine caribou needs areas with thin snow and sufficiently abundant vegetation to recharge energy for the harsh winter ahead. The porcupine caribou has a slender body with long, strong legs that help it move effectively over snow and uneven terrain. Its thick, double-layered fur changes color according to the season, brownish-grey in summer and lighter in winter, to provide both thermal insulation and camouflage. Both males and females have antlers. Male antlers are large with complex branching, while female antlers are smaller but are kept longer to protect their food sources during the winter. As an ancestral inhabitant of Yukon, the porcupine caribou has developed highly adaptable foraging tactics to survive. In areas of low primary productivity, common in autumn and the warm summer months, they feed mainly on grasses and other vascular plants. However, in areas of higher productivity, where competition from other ungulates and predator pressure increases, they opt for lichens. This is an energy-rich food source, easy to digest, and remains accessible under the surface layer of frozen soil. Their journey is deeply linked to the traditional knowledge of indigenous communities such as the Gwich'in and Vuntut Gwich'in, peoples who have lived and hunted alongside the caribou for thousands of years. In that tradition, there exists the concept of the lead caribou, individuals that guide the entire herd through the migration. Interviews with native hunters reveal that females usually lead in autumn and spring, navigating difficult terrain, locating food, and avoiding snowstorms. Males only take command when the snow is deeper and greater physical strength is required to break the trail. By crossing the Ogilvy Mountains and the Porcupine Valley in autumn, the caribou are not just migrants in search of food. They are actively shaping the entire ecosystem. Recent ecological studies by the Alaska Department of Fish and Game show that caribou manure contains key nutrients, especially nitrogen. By dispersing across the tundra, these nutrients help restore the primary productivity of high-altitude grasslands. This creates a domino effect that allows the tundra to recover faster after periods of drought or late thaws. Autumn is also when the caribou begin to display more complex social behaviors. Calves born in early summer are already large enough to follow the herd, turning autumn into a season of natural training. In the low mountainous areas of Ogilvy, the phenomenon of collective antler shedding in males has been observed. Old antlers fall off to prepare for the next winter cycle. This is also the pre-rut phase when testosterone levels rise, making males aggressive, bellicose, and more alert than usual. They can mate with several or even dozens of females continuously for a few days. Conversely, females must balance two key survival roles: maintaining a constant migratory pace while selecting high-quality mates to ensure strong genetics. They tend to be very selective, mating only with males that demonstrate superior endurance and survival instinct. It is noteworthy that the rut occurs even while the herd is in motion, meaning that mating behaviors alternate with brief periods of rest. The passage of tens of thousands of caribou creates familiar trails that alter vegetation patterns and allow new grass to grow after winter. Stopping points often attract other species such as Arctic foxes, golden eagles, and even small rodents that follow the herd. Thanks to the presence of the porcupine caribou, the red squirrel is one of many species that benefit indirectly. Small but full of energy, they spend most of their time collecting and storing cones, especially from white spruce and lodgepole pine, in caches called middens. Indirect nutrients from porcupine caribou manure have been shown in 2,024 studies to help boost forest vegetation growth. As a result, the production of cones, an essential food source for the red squirrel, has increased significantly. Adapted to the cold climate, red squirrels have ears with tufts of hair, a bushy tail, and feet with light fur that help with insulation when moving over snow. They do not hibernate. Instead, they survive the long winter by relying on their food reserves, an effective evolutionary strategy that has allowed the species to persist since the late Pleistocene. Each individual protects its own territory, always alert and reacting aggressively toward any intruder. At this time of year, carcasses of large animals begin to appear, left behind after long migrations or due to exhaustion from the mating season. This is when the raven begins its phase of maximum activity, accumulating energy reserves for the long and harsh winter. They closely follow the movement of ungulates, ready to take advantage of any opportunity. Whether it is an undecayed carcass or remains from a predator's feast, ravens exploit it quickly. Their flexible foraging strategy and incredible intelligence allow them to survive spectacularly. They can remember where they hid food for weeks. Ravens are also famous for their clever distraction tricks, faking alarm calls to deceive others, stealing food, and even harassing larger birds like the bald eagle to snatch carrion from them. After the long journey through forests and mountain ranges in autumn, the herd finally reaches the Richardson Mountains and the interior taiga region of Yukon. This is the place where they will spend the entire winter enduring the extreme cold. Winter in Yukon usually begins in late October and lasts until April, with average temperatures ranging between -20 degrees Celsius and -40 degrees Celsius, and occasionally dropping even lower. In the Richardson Mountains, the rugged terrain and constant winds prevent thick snow accumulation. Thanks to this, many areas expose the lichen layer just below the surface, an essential food source that helps the caribou maintain its energy. In addition to the porcupine caribou, the 40-mile caribou is another characteristic subspecies found in northern North America. These two herds share common ancestors, but geographical separation and differences in habitat have led to notable distinctions in their behavior. The porcupine caribou primarily inhabits open Arctic regions, while the 40-mile caribou has adapted to the subarctic forest zones of Yukon. Although they look nearly identical, according to the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, the 40-mile caribou is slightly smaller due to a less nutritious diet. The 40-mile caribou tends to move in smaller groups and near the boreal forest limit. In contrast, the porcupine caribou prefers the open plains of the tundra. When winter arrives, the 40-mile caribou seeks refuge under the forest canopy to protect itself from freezing winds, while the porcupine caribou is willing to travel further to find areas rich in lichens. The most marked difference lies in the extent of their migration. The porcupine caribou is famous for its great migration of thousands of kilometers each year, one of the longest land migrations of any mammal species. They follow a consistent route from the Ogilvy Mountains to the Richardson Mountains and toward the Beaufort Sea coast. In contrast, the 40-mile caribou only migrates a few hundred kilometers around the 40-mile river area between Alaska and Yukon. Caribou are endowed with incredible adaptations to survive in this hostile environment. Their hairs are thick and hollow, like small tubes, which help trap warm air near the body. Their noses warm the air before it enters the lungs, and their large hooves help them dig in the snow and maintain balance on ice. Although they can withstand temperatures as low as -50 degrees Celsius, their true challenge comes from hunger and predators. For this reason, the caribou is almost always in motion during the winter to avoid ambushes. A rare ecological event occurred in the 1960s and again in 1979, when the porcupine caribou migrated out of its usual range and entered the area of the 40-mile herd. Interestingly, there was no conflict between the two herds. Instead of competing, they quietly avoided each other as if guided by a common instinct, providing a powerful testimony to the profound balance that nature and the Creator have bestowed. While the other subspecies are seasonal visitors, the boreal woodland caribou considers the Richardson Mountains its home year-round. It lives solitarily or in small groups, remaining all year in the sparse forests of southeastern Yukon. By relying almost entirely on lichens without needing to share the habitat with large herds, the reduced competitive pressure allows them to focus on conserving energy and maintaining distance from predators. This survival strategy requires extreme vigilance and excellent camouflage thanks to its dark brown or ash-grey fur. The hair around the neck and shoulders is darker to retain heat and blend in with the understory. The difference in their physical appearance is also notable. The boreal woodland caribou is significantly larger than both the 40-mile and the porcupine caribou. Adults weigh between 120 and 210 kilograms, and some males reach up to 250 kilograms. Their antlers are thicker and heavier, with fewer branches and more rounded, adapted to the forest environment where compact antlers facilitate movement through dense vegetation. Unlike the long and twisted antlers of the tundra caribou, remaining in the same territory all year gives the boreal woodland caribou a profound knowledge of its environment. Understanding every tree, every rocky crevice, and every frozen stream in the taiga ecosystem is its greatest survival tool. Beneath the rivers of this land lies a fish with an amazing life cycle, the Chinook salmon. They migrate more than 3,200 kilometers from the ocean into the Yukon River to spawn, and then end their lives, a poignant but essential process for the ecosystem. Although they do not eat during the nearly 3-month journey, they transport nutrients from the sea upriver, enriching the forests and mountains through their bodies rich in nitrogen and phosphorus. As of 2024, the number of Chinook salmon of Canadian origin has declined to between 19,000 and 28,000 individuals. This has led the government to decree a 7-year fishing ban. Meanwhile, on land, spotting the Arctic fox becomes especially difficult when snow covers everything in white. It is a slender creature, but with incredible endurance that lives year-round in these mountainous areas. Without needing to migrate, the Arctic fox has evolved to thrive in the midst of the freezing winter, thanks to its fur that changes with the seasons. In winter, its hair becomes immaculate white for perfect camouflage on the snow. Then it changes to brownish-grey in summer to blend in with the moss and rocks. That white winter fur is actually twice as thick as the summer fur, providing vital thermal insulation for the entire body. This thickening of the hair does not occur at random. The the Arctic fox possesses a biological clock very sensitive to the photoperiod, that is, the duration of daily sunlight. The first signs of the red fox's presence were recorded in the early 20th century. By the year 2025, they have become common residents in many habitats, from open taiga and dry grasslands to the outskirts of northern communities. Their permanent presence in the subarctic zone is a clear reflection of climate change. As winters shorten, the snowpack thins and freezing time is reduced, living conditions are increasingly favorable for species adapted to more temperate environments. While the Arctic fox depends on thick snow to hide and hunts based on hearing, the red fox benefits from thin or exposed snow surfaces. They rely on their sight and speed to pursue their prey. Unlike the Arctic fox, an expert long adapted to the snowy environment, the red fox is approximately 20% to 30% larger. It possesses an extremely flexible survival strategy. Like the Arctic fox, they hunt lemmings, voles, and ground-nesting birds. They feed on caribou or moose carcasses, and even consume human waste near settlements. However, the red fox rarely stores food, a technique known as caching, which allows leftovers to be buried under the snow for later consumption during winter, something the Arctic fox does frequently. According to studies conducted in YUKON in 2024, this adaptation has also caused notable changes in behavior. Many red foxes now use rocky caves and snowy hills that were previously traditional Arctic fox territory. This creates direct competition for breeding space and seriously threatens the survival of Arctic fox cubs. The expansion of the red fox is a severe ecological warning. It reflects the complex links between climate change, species behavior, and ecosystem structure. Any change can cause profound disturbances in the fragile Arctic survival network. In addition to competition from the red fox, one of the most important food sources for the Arctic fox, the lemming, is also fiercely contested by the snowy owl. This large white owl glides silently over the vast frozen plains. The snowy owl is the typical winter hunter of the Richardson Mountains and the interior taiga of Yukon. Hunting both day and night, lemmings represent more than 70% of its diet during the breeding season. They diversify their food sources during the rest of the winter. The snowy owl's hunting ability comes from a perfect combination of sharp vision, precise directional hearing, and silent flight. Unlike most owls, which are nocturnal, the snowy owl hunts at any time. This makes it a formidable rival, even when the Arctic fox or red fox lurks nearby. They usually fly low, gliding just above the ground from cliffs or snow mounds. Then they suddenly dive at high speed, with their knife-sharp talons sinking directly into the prey. Thanks to their specialized feathers that help absorb sound, their attack is almost inaudible. This prevents the target from reacting in time to the imminent danger. It is noteworthy that adult snowy owls have been observed stealing food from Arctic foxes. This adds another level of fierce competition for survival on the tundra. Although they are not permanent residents, they patrol the area from east to west throughout the winter, instead of migrating south. According to 2024 findings from Project Snowstorm, this winter has seen an increase in the number of snowy owls in northwestern Canada. This highlights the vital role of a stable lemming population in Yukon. In this landscape of snow and wind, each encounter between the Arctic fox and the snowy owl is no longer just a matter of hunting. It is a race for survival, where sharp eyes and sharp talons become the ultimate weapons. And now, for those of you watching this program, among the 3 winter hunters of Yukon, which one do you think has the smartest survival strategy? The Arctic fox, the red fox, or the snowy owl? Leave your answer in the comments below. The clashes between foxes and snowy owls are of little importance to the caribou. Their concern lies with the true rulers of the snow-covered mountains, the grey wolf. It is the alpha predator of the taiga ecosystem, one that seems to awaken as soon as the snow begins to thicken. The grey wolf is one of the carnivorous species with the most advanced social structure in Yukon. According to the Yukon Department of Environment in 2024, the population is estimated at about 4,500 to 5,000 individuals, scattered throughout the boreal forests and tundra. In winter, when temperatures frequently drop below -40 degrees Celsius, caribou become their primary prey. They are large targets that can feed an entire pack. Wolf packs, which usually consist of between 5 and 12 members, track caribou over dozens of kilometers. They traverse snow-covered valleys and mountainous forests, terrains favorable for ambush tactics. They are selective hunters who concentrate on old, injured, weak or young specimens. This strategy not only increases their success rate, but also helps maintain the health of the caribou population. In response, the caribou also has its own method. Its body temperature drops slightly and its heart rate slows down to only 8 to 12 beats per minute. Its metabolism is reduced to approximately 25% of its normal level. During this time, it does not eat, drink, or excrete, surviving only on the fat reserves accumulated during the summer. When the thick layer of snow begins to melt and the first warm breezes blow over Yukon, the surviving caribou silently begin a new chapter in their journey of perseverance. Spring arrives at Yukon's north slope and the Beaufort coastal plain in late April. When daytime temperatures rise slowly from 1 degree Celsius to about 10 degrees Celsius or 15 degrees Celsius on clear days, the landscape undergoes a spectacular transformation. The ice along the streams cracks, giving way to the crystalline water of the thaw. Vegetation gradually covers the previously frozen ground with green tones. It is the time when plants like sedges, lichens and willows begin to sprout. These nutrient-rich food sources, after a long season of scarcity, signal the rebirth of the entire Arctic ecosystem. With the thaw, the porcupine caribou females lead the herd through the Richardson Mountains and Yukon's north slope. They return to the Beaufort coastal plain, an area that offers ideal breeding conditions with fewer grey wolves and an abundance of fresh spring food. This is also the most sacred phase of their life cycle. The peak of births occurs in early June, with more than 75% of females giving birth between June 1st and 7th each year. Newborn calves are extremely vulnerable in their first weeks. They depend on their mother's milk while facing threats from predators like grey wolves, grizzly bears, and golden eagles. However, predator density along the coast is between 30% and 40% lower than in interior regions. This significantly improves the survival rate of the calves. Male caribou play an important role in protecting the territory, using their antlers and strong hooves to drive away wolves if necessary. The birth process on the Beaufort coastal plain also stimulates the ecosystem itself. Calf manure and materials like the placenta enrich the soil with nitrogen and microbes, stimulating the growth of sedges and willows. This not only provides immediate food for the calves, but helps rejuvenate riparian vegetation. This creates favorable conditions for Chinook salmon when they begin their migration upriver. At the same time, the Canada goose begins its migration north to occupy wetlands and melt lakes. There, they will build their nests and raise their chicks in the midst of the reborn landscape. Although they represent less than 1% of the goose population in the area, according to surveys, some pairs choose riparian marshes and the edges of melt lakes as nesting sites. The breeding season extends from late May to early June, following a continental cycle. The Canada goose feeds on grass leaves, sedges, and aquatic plants, playing a key role in pH regulation. After nesting and egg-laying, the male, which usually weighs between 3.9 and 5 kilograms, assumes a high-level defensive role. It emits a sharp hiss and lunges to protect its young from red foxes or birds of prey. They usually lay 4 to 6 eggs that are incubated for 24 to 32 days. When the chicks hatch, both parents guide them along trails and channels toward fresh pastures to help them adapt quickly. A 2024 report from the United States Fish and Wildlife Service noted that the breeding population increased by 5% over the previous year. This indicates that spring breeding conditions in Alaska and Canada are improving. Offspring are always the hope and the future of their species. But no matter how fiercely they protect them, sometimes it is not enough when the giants of Yukon wake up from their long sleep. Right after finishing hibernation, the grizzly bear reappears across the plains with mothers and their cubs moving through the recently thawed tundra. According to the 2020 Habitat Modeling Report and observation data from 2021 to 2022, grizzly mothers focus primarily on vulnerable caribou calves. At the peak of the birth season, a bear can take down up to 6 caribou calves a day. The coastal plains offer ideal feeding conditions and a lower predator density than the interior. The hunt begins when the grizzly detects the scent of a nearby calf. Using its brute strength and speed, it separates the calf from its mother, often targeting those that are just learning to stand up. This makes them particularly vulnerable and unable to keep up with the herd. Grizzly pressure forces the caribou to change their breeding sites and directly affects the survival rate of the offspring. But there is a creature that wakes up even before the grizzly bear. The black bear, Ursus americanus, is usually the first to start the spring hunting season thanks to a shorter and lighter hibernation strategy. Black bears head toward the coastal plain, attracted by migratory species and the early appearance of food after the thaw. The black bear is an omnivorous species with great adaptability throughout North America. A male in spring can weigh between 80 and 90 kilograms. Although it is smaller than the inland grizzly bear, the black bear usually inhabits lowland forests. When the ice thins, they venture toward the coastal tundra in search of nutrient-rich foods. Among them, caribou and moose calves become targets of opportunity. These two species rarely face each other directly due to differences in size and territory. The black bear tends to avoid the high areas where the grizzly concentrates, choosing coastal, riparian regions with fewer predators instead. Unlike the grizzly, the black bear can climb trees to eat berries when summer arrives. They also compete indirectly with scavengers like the Arctic fox and the raven, forming a tight food web. Meanwhile, a new danger quietly approaches from the north. The polar bear, the alpha predator of the icy waters, begins its journey inland from the sea ice off Herschel Island. The polar bear evolved from the brown bear in the Pleistocene, adapting perfectly to life in the frozen Arctic. Their bodies are streamlined with a thick, coarse white coat, large paws, and strong claws. An adult male usually weighs between 350 and 500 kilograms and can stand up to 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder. They are considerably larger than the other two bear species. In spring, they leave their dens to hunt bearded seals as soon as cracks appear in the sea ice. They establish ambush points at breathing holes or follow bubbles under the ice. When the thaw progresses, they can venture further onto land and feed on caribou calves or carrion. This adds pressure to the already vulnerable herds of young. Unlike the grizzly and the black bear, the polar bear operates across multiple terrains: ocean, coast, and coastal plain. However, when the ice melts, they usually avoid the grizzly, which can drive them away from their prey. As spring arrives and life is reborn, mothers of all species protect and guide their young with courage. Can you guess which of the 3 bear species usually has the most cubs in a single litter? Leave your answer in the comments. When the porcupine caribou herds leave the coastal breeding areas to return to the interior, it is the sign of summer in the far north. Summer in Yukon extends from June to August, with between 18 and 22 hours of sunlight a day. Maximum temperatures range between 6 degrees Celsius and 26 degrees Celsius. The alpine tundra, which extends across mountain ranges like Ogilvy and Mackenzie, awakens at altitudes between 900 and 2,400 meters, where trees can no longer grow. This place becomes an explosive habitat with wildflowers, lichens, and short grasses that bloom in a brief period of just 45 to 90 days. During this time, temperatures hover around 3 degrees Celsius to 12 degrees Celsius. The coastal hills, low undulations along the edge of the Beaufort Sea, where high slopes descend gently, offer a slightly more temperate tundra climate. The average summer temperature there is about 4.5 degrees Celsius. This zone has extensive meadows of sedges, lichens, and dwarf willows. It forms a vital transition zone between the Arctic tundra and the boreal taiga to the south. Summer is the season of recovery. Caribou herds head to the high mountain areas, where cool breezes and fewer insects provide a necessary refuge against mosquitoes and horseflies. Calves begin to learn key survival skills, such as keeping up with the herd and selecting soft foods. They also learn to recognize predator tracks. This is also a stage of rapid physical growth as they prepare for the long migration south. Adult caribou concentrate on accumulating fat and nutrients, increasing an average of 10% to 15% of their body weight. This is possible thanks to the abundant summer vegetation. Caribou cluster together using high ridges to avoid insect clouds and reduce the risk of attacks by grizzly bears or grey wolves. Strong mountain winds decrease insect density, allowing them to consume more than 10 kilograms of plants a day with less disturbance. This is a delicate transition phase to strengthen the young. They seek to consolidate the health of the herd and store energy for the imminent migration south. When the porcupine caribou ventures into its new habitats, it may encounter the hoary marmot. This is a rare sight to see, as this species hibernates for up to 8 months and is only active during the brief summer period. It is easily recognizable by its robust body and silvery grey fur. hoary marmot inhabits rocky slopes and alpine meadows of the tundra and coastal hills. Summer is the only season in which they mate, raise their young, and accumulate fat reserves. They feed on grass, wildflowers and roots, remaining active during the long northern daylight hours. According to the Yukon government in 2024, this is also the time when marmots are most sociable. They often stand guard and emit their characteristic alarm whistles at any nearby danger. The hoary marmot stands firm as one of the most vital symbols of summer in Yukon. In summer, the Dall sheep returns with great strength, inhabiting the steep cliffs throughout the alpine tundra. They extend toward the adjacent low hills, terrain where only true climbers dare to step. Here, low plants like sedges, willows, and the dryas flower form the main diet of this mountain inhabitant. The Dall sheep has a distinctive appearance with a winter coat that reaches 2 centimeters in thickness. They have a shoulder height of about 1.5 meters and a body weight of between 100 and 110 kilograms. Females are significantly lighter than males. The male's large spiral horns are both a symbol of dominance and a weapon against predators like the golden eagle, the grizzly bear, and the grey wolf. Summer marks the breeding season. Females give birth and raise their young on the highest cliffs, where safety is the top priority. The survival of lambs is closely related to the NDVY, Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. NDVI is a measure of the greenness of plants. Where vegetation sprouts earlier, the chances of survival for small lambs improve significantly. Summer is also the time when these sheep rely on rugged terrain to reduce predator pressure. This is a clear strategic choice in their survival strategy. The Dall sheep plays a crucial ecological role by consuming sedges, willows, and mosses. In this way, they help regulate the dynamics of alpine vegetation. The change between different altitudes also reflects their adaptive response to climate change. Shrub species are gradually moving toward higher areas of the mountain. This could affect the future food sources of this species. The mountain goat, another master of the vertical world, dominates Yukon's steep cliffs during the short summer months. It is equipped with square, sharp-edged hooves and flexible footpads. The mountain goat adheres easily to rock walls with slopes greater than 60 degrees. They move elegantly at elevations of thousands of meters. With a body length of about 1.4 meters and an average weight of 70 kilograms, they are considered true masters of climbing. There are approximately 1,500 individuals in Yukon. Summer is their only season of full activity, awakening in late May and remaining active for only about 90 days. They use this time to give birth, feed and accumulate fat before winter returns. Starting in June, females give birth on safe rock ledges. They then guide their young to the heights, teaching them to climb and feed on alpine vegetation. Their superior ability to climb and maintain balance allows them to avoid almost all predators. Only the golden eagle, the grey wolf, and the grizzly bear represent potential threats. But even they can rarely reach the mountain goat in its vertical environment. When it feels threatened, the mountain goat instinctively runs upward or clings to the rock wall. It uses the landscape as a natural shield and escapes danger through its reflexes. Their mastery of the terrain is absolute. They also change their activity range according to the season, remaining on high peaks during the summer. In winter, they descend a bit further to seek temperate shelters and access salt licks for essential nutrients. This amazing adaptation to the terrain highlights their role as specialists. They are true specialists in high mountain survival in Yukon's extreme climate. Summer is also the highlight of reproduction for the golden eagle. On steep and windy cliffs, these birds of prey build their nests with large branches. The nests are located in discreet places with wide visibility. A true symbol of the sky, summer is also the highlight of reproduction for the golden eagle. On steep and windy cliffs, these birds of prey build their nests with large branches. These nests are reused and expanded over the years. They are located in discreet places with wide visibility, far from the reach of predators and ideal for raising chicks. From late April to late July, a pair of golden eagles usually raises 1 or 2 eaglets. The eggs are incubated, and the chicks are kept warm and fed with care. But rearing is not simply about feeding. It is a genuine training process. In the first weeks, the eaglet flaps weakly, waiting for food. Between the 7th and 9th week, the parents begin to encourage stronger wing beats and short hops between rock ledges. Some parents even drop live prey into the nest to teach the eaglet how to react. They teach them to attack and finish off the prey. The mother eagle will glide in front of her offspring, sometimes faking attacks to activate their reflexes and force the young one to adjust its height. Gradually, the eaglet joins brief hunting expeditions, observing tactics and imitating approach techniques. Once the nest is safe, the golden eagle embarks on real hunting missions. They use diverse strategies depending on the type of prey. For marmots, they use the contour flight technique, flying at low altitude following the relief. They fly only 1 to 5 meters from the ground, then dive at full speed when the target appears. They hold it firmly by the neck or head with their powerful talons. For dull sheep lambs, they choose a low and stealthy approach. They hold on tightly to the back or neck for several minutes to exhaust the small lamb and subdue it. When facing larger prey, such as an adult mountain goat, they can use the push-off-the-cliff strategy. They take advantage of the sloped terrain to unbalance the target and make it roll down, the rocky crevices. For young or weak goats, they return to the ambush and firm grip style. Strategic flexibility, speed, and sharp intelligence make the golden eagle an incessant aerial threat. They exert ecological pressure that shapes the distribution of marmots, foxes, and lambs throughout the tundra landscape. They are hunters that are not limited to a single species. While caribou herds continue to enjoy the short summer, a quieter and more urgent story unfolds beneath the surface. Yukon faces a series of serious environmental crises as climate change accelerates permafrost thaw. The result is ground subsidence, destruction of infrastructure, and the release of methane gas and mercury into the ecosystem. Along coastal areas, such as on Herschel Island, thaw-slumping landslides occur at an unprecedented rate. These events accelerate erosion and change the appearance of the entire landscape. Meanwhile, Yukon's hydrological cycle is being altered with increasing floods and a rise in water turbidity. This increases the risk of mercury contamination along the Yukon River basin. Vegetation is changing rapidly with shrubs and boreal forests invading tundra areas. This change causes more frequent forest fires. The expansion also pushes invasive species like the red fox further into Arctic fox territory, altering the ancestral ecological balance. At the same time, iconic species like the porcupine caribou and Chinook salmon are seriously affected by habitat loss. They face unstable food sources and have to navigate disturbances during their life cycles. Yukon is in the midst of a climate crisis that clearly illustrates the erosion of the natural foundations of this land. Faced with this pressure, Yukon is proactively adapting through multidimensional solutions based on indigenous knowledge. Leading the way is the Our Clean Future initiative, which seeks to reduce emissions by 45% from 2010 levels, with the goal of reaching 97% renewable electricity by 2030. Yukon is also driving the adoption of electric vehicles while reducing emissions in transportation and construction. Authorities have developed a network of sensors and geotechnical mapping systems to monitor ground movement. Canada contributes $7.5 million Canadian dollars annually through the Northern Climate Change Preparedness Program. This supports Indigenous communities in improving infrastructure and stabilizing foundations. Efforts in places like Herschel Island have been accelerated through the relocation of cultural heritage sites and the digital preservation of traditional knowledge. The Yukon River Inter-Tribal Watershed Council, YRITWC, monitors the river's water quality. They also lead the restoration of the taiga to rebuild ecological corridors and absorb millions of tons of carbon dioxide. These strategies protect the vital flow and natural heritage of this land for future generations. But Yukon needs more than that. It needs individuals to act. If you have ever witnessed the majesty of its wildlife, do not hesitate to share your experience in the comments. Your voice can be a source of inspiration in efforts to preserve the ecosystem for the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to join us on our next expedition. Continue following wildlife survival stories with Wild Siberia, Secrets of Survival in the Ice Forest, or Extreme Alaska, The Fight for Fauna Survival.